Welcome, Kanika, and thank you so much for joining this candid conversation. Well,
Thank
Kanika
you.
Mahadevia, she is a renowned architect by passion and by profession. She is the founder of andblack, a mother of a beautiful kid, Kabir, and most importantly, how I know her and how I appreciate her is one of the most aware beings that I have come across in my journey. So, thank you so much,
Thank you so
Kanika,
much.
for being you, and thank you for saying yes to this conversation.
And thank you for such a beautiful introduction.
This is dil se, bilkul
Yes.
dil se, and something that I have always found very inspiring, that your authenticity and the awareness of who you are
Yeah.
really it is visible everywhere that you go. It's very, very visible.
Thank you.
And so this conversation is all about divine energy, feminine energy, because Navratri is around the corner, and we start talking about it, start feeling the
Yeah.
energy even more. What has been your understanding of divine feminine energy?
This is a very interesting question because we relate feminine to females, but that's not the case. And it's present in all, and it's present in all in different forms. And that's what Navratri proves in a way,
Yes.
that we celebrate the feminine energy for 9 days. So we need 9 days to understand the 9 qualities of feminism or femininity in a way. So I feel like it is a mixture of, I think, a lot of power, a lot of intuition,
Yes.
and a lot of strength. So power and strength is different, I think.
Okay.
So I think power is where the woman or the man who's got an awakened feminine energy would, in a situation, feel extremely powerful, like I can do this. And strength is internal strength, you know, in
believing in who
yes,
you are.
yes, exactly. In believing in a person, believing in a situation, believing in themselves, and believing in the other as well. You know, I think the way the feminine energy believes in the masculine is not the same the masculine believes in the feminine.
Correct.
So, for example,
Yes.
so I think that yes, belief and strength comes from. So I think it's a mixture of that, and I think the most important thing is inclusivity. I think a woman and feminine energy henceforth has this ability to be very inclusive. So there is lesser rejection of the other.
In person, like in general, women are like that, or
I think so. I think so.
But because the projection of the world, and then how they are led with their experiences, makes them a little different.
I think it's the man. You'll find a man always saying, "मैं ऐसा नहीं हूँ, तो मैं ये नहीं कर सकता." And you'll find the woman saying, "अच्छा ये करना है. Let me see how can I do it." So there is a sense of inclusivity.
Yes.
So man, in a traditional Indian household, a man would say कि मैं तेरे घर 4 घंटे से ज़्यादा नहीं आ सकता. I feel very awkward. And on the day of the marriage, the woman in her head would be, अच्छा मुझे यहाँ पे रहना है. Let me see what I can make the best out of this. So there's a difference.
That inclusivity.
Yes. So I think we're very inclusive of the other. What is not us. So
yes.
Yes.
So power, strength, intuition, and inclusivity.
Yes.
Beautiful. So how do you understand, or maybe in your everyday life, there is always a balance that is required, and especially when women are working, the balance of masculine and feminine energy.
Yes.
The masculine energy of money, of goals, being driven. The doer, the ambitions, all of that, along with the feminine energy of intuition, of strength.
I think when I face a deadline, for example, or when my son is, for example, hurt, I have to take him to the hospital. When I have these situations, when I have to deliver, I become very logical, sometimes more than my husband.
Oh.
And the way I would ask questions to the doctor if my son is sick is extremely intelligent, informed. I'm very stable, so that's the balance. So I think the feminine energy knows when to panic and when to perform.
And what you are sharing is so much aligned with the third goddess of the 9 forms of goddess Durga that we celebrate during Navratri. The third goddess, and you, because you are the third guest, goddess Chandraghanta, who is represented by courage and grace.
Yes.
And I was about to ask you that in any difficult situation, how do you balance between being fearless and being grounded at the same time? Or is there a story of something that reminds you of one of your most difficult situation, and how did you face that with a lot of courage yet a lot of grace?
It would be the struggle of setting up our office here in Ahmedabad.
Okay.
And it required a lot of courage, and it had to be done with a lot of grace. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been here where we are today.
Correct.
So I think it just, I think with the right intention, if you are very focused on intention and very clean from inside with the intention, then both the masculine and the feminine will support you for your intention. So they will both stand by you.
Just being very convinced.
Yes, very
yourself.
with a lot of conviction and intention. If you are at something, the universe will awaken both. So
Chandraghanta माँ का जो description है, this is very beautiful, that how beautifully these goddesses are present in our day-to-day life, and we talk about divine feminine as divine mother.
Yes.
And how that divinity is present in each mother in so many different forms. Some has that innate virtue of power or creativity or intuition. Some has courage and grace.
Yes.
And we all have that inside of us. How do you tap into it on a daily basis? And how has it helped you in your personal and professional growth?
This is a tough one. I think intuition is very unlikely masculine. We start and end our day with intuition. So I don't know if this is a fact, but if I were to journal before I sleep and after I wake up, it would all be just intuition.
That's why I call you the most aware being. So I have come across, yes, because you're so in tune with your intuition. So how, Kanika, what makes this?
I think having extremely good quality me time, because you have to be very quiet. I'm very talkative, by the way, but I'm very quiet from inside. So only then you can cut off the noise.
Beautiful.
So when I am with myself, I am able to hear myself.
This is such a beautiful response, and similar to what our other guest Harshada also mentioned, that how tuning in to the inner voice is only possible when you drown the noise outside.
Yes. And this is not about going in an ashram and staying. This is not about, this is about tuning in, as you said. You can tune in your bedroom, you know. So I always, since years, I always have this 1 hour after my husband Jwalant leaves for work, where I would do nothing. Not everything is scheduled. And it's only in these unscheduled hours that you spend time with yourself that you will realize everything that's going wrong and everything that's going right. And then, of course, next step is to find the courage to act on it. But your intuition will guide you if you have nothing on an agenda for that hour.
And all the entangled threads, all the things that are missing out, everything starts to become clearer the more and more you spend time with yourself.
Yes, yes.
So was it challenging growing up with this power? And
it was perfect, because I developed this ability as a child to tap into this quietness because my house was very noisy. So it was perfect.
Maybe that was
Yes, it worked for me.
Ability that you developed because
Yes.
of the environment.
Yes. And we were 2-3 brother sisters. We used to all share a room. If you can't ask them to leave the room, so so then you basically leave the physical space mentally. Yes, and that is how I started to sink into myself in a very early days of my. I think so. I don't know.
So, can you share any spiritual practice or rituals that you do on your daily basis that helps you be in tune with all these qualities? Having a healthy conversation also requires a lot of being in tune with your inner self. All of that.
I think it's a way of being. So I don't know. I think it becomes very daunting for me to follow something every day.
Recently, you have started a few things that have
so
been...
I recently went to Sadhguru to do inner engineering. I've done few things. I've been to Vipassana, and I did a couple of courses in Mind Valley and stuff. But I think sometimes with the personality like me, I think being conscious is the path to having an understanding of yourself. And being conscious is a complete way of being. It has got nothing to really, yes, the practices can help you, but for a personality like me, it used to become very daunting when somebody would tell me that you have to do this every day. And you have to get up, and I've been doing yoga since 10 months, and I think that's an achievement for me to continue. However, I've always been doing something or the other. So I may not have done something consistently over like 10 years.
You're doing something.
Yes. So whether, and that has to be mind and body both. I always say this, like it has to be, I need to bring out something from my physical body as well. So it's a combination of...
So yoga is something that has really worked for you, and you look forward to your yoga
Yes,
classes.
absolutely. Some kind of, it makes me active.
Another thing that you mentioned quite often is journaling as a practice that you have done over the years.
Yes, I miss journaling right now because I think बहुत ज़्यादा packed up routine है. But you know, when I left home when I was 18 and I went to study architecture in Pune, I found myself living in a hostel with 100 strangers, with a lot of leftover thoughts from hometown, which didn't fit in where I was, and a lot of overwhelmed feelings from the course that I had joined. Architecture can be very, very overwhelming for a lot. A lot of people even leave architecture in their second year, third year. So it can be very overwhelming if you haven't been able to embrace it. So it expects a lot out of you. You can't do it कि पढ़ाई करके exam दे दिया निकल लिया. You have to really bring out. So it was very overwhelming for me, and I had a lot to share about Kanpur, and I felt like I wanted to talk, and I would talk and talk and talk to my journal, and I would write about my parents, sometimes with love, sometimes not so much in love. Sometimes about my friends, sometimes how I'm feeling here. I wrote a lot when I moved to London as well. I started some blog as well. उस time पे वो craze आया था blog का. Journaling really helped me. I have now made very, very close friends, very deep friends. Maybe that's why I don't journal as much, because we have
real people who can listen to you.
Yes, and there wasn't a WhatsApp in those days. So communication has become much easier. You just send a WhatsApp to a friend, and you partly share in that. So that wasn't there. So I miss journaling, and if I was very high on emotions, I would still journal. That was my first reaction. I would journal.
Even today it is that?
Yes. If I'm high on emotions. Yes. Okay. But yes, journaling has especially before I go to sleep. Yes.
So today you are not doing that because you have people, but
I think so,
that's your
yes.
go-to. And the morning definitely for the last 10 months starts with yoga.
Yes, the morning starts with yoga. The morning, right now, from the last 1 month, starts with a Kriya that I learned at Sadhguru.
Would you like to share more about it?
Oh yes, it's life-changing. And this is not to promote somebody.
No, yes, of
but
course.
it has been like I don't know how to say. It's like, how would you just get up and clean your room every day? So you just do it without and you just want your room cleaned the next day, and then the third day you are like, aaj to clean hone hi wala. You assume it's going to become clean, and then you never realize, but you grow up and you have cleaned your room for last 40 years of your life, because that's how it's meant to be.
One day, one
yes
thing at a
and
time.
yes and if you come back from travel one night, on a night, the next thing that generally you would think is, okay, I want to get up and clean the house because it was shut for 10 days. So that's what we do to our system when we keep it shut, when we don't meditate, or when we don't sit with ourselves or don't quiet our minds. It's just like a shut house that's not being cleaned. So and then it starts to become addictive, because just the way you clean your clothes, you do your laundry, and you're just doing that for your mind. And this is what the Kriya has done for me. And it's apart from this, is the very obvious thing that meditation does. The more I do, the more energy I have. So a lot of people say that I don't have the time to do Kriya, but actually it's because of the Kriya that I have the time to do what I'm doing.
Beautiful.
So suddenly the day feels like 24 hours and not like a drag.
Time,
yes. You're really able to expand time and really able to manage disturbances. And now the disturbance is not a disturbance, it's just something that's happening as part of the day. I mean, just because you're able to manage it.
You just look at it
Differently, yes. Because you have the ability, the patience and the space to manage it. So now it's no more unwelcomed. So I'm able to do...
That thing which was overwhelming before.
Yes.
Today it is just
because
like,
we shut it out, right? We're like, no, we can't handle this disturbance. You stay out of my cabin because I want to be in my zone. So with this, I think I can be in my zone whilst doing everything that I'm supposed to do. So I think this is incredible. It's been incredible. And it's just been a month. And the mandala finishes in 40 days. And then we have to continue it for at least 6 months to finish the whole process that happens within us. So I'm waiting for brighter skin.
And interesting, you mentioned about the 40 days after the newborn is born.
Yes.
And this also, the 40 days,
yes.
It's such importance of 40 days because even the newborn is getting equipped with the environment, the new environment.
I think it's 40 days for the mother, not for the bacha.
The mother is also born with a child.
Yes, exactly.
And
it's for the chacha. Like yes. So I think you go into your long-term periods. And there is a tradition that's attached to when you are in your periods, and I think it's all muddled up with that.
So 40 days, I think importance is there in a lot of other traditions also.
Oh, right.
Yes,
okay.
Even in Islam, they talk about how there was some story about 40 days. He had just gone into meditative state before the Quran was
really?
passed on, and there's a lot of other stories that talk
there's
about 40
also
days.
The fasting in the Christianity, I think,
of 40 days
where yes.
So there is a lot of practices where 40 days importance. And when you mentioned about the Kriya for the first 40 days, it's like the complete churning and cleansing inside out that happens. Even scientifically, 40 days plays a very vital role in
to actually bring about the change that
building
it's meant
a new
to.
habit, changing the neurodynamics, and bringing that change.
Yeah, so, the cleansing.
Yes. So just to sum up the whole conversation, Kanika, what according to you would be that one advice, or maybe what legacy would you hope to leave for people to honor and embrace this divine feminine?
I love this. I love the word legacy. I love this question. I think be yourself. It sounds very repetitive because there's so many people saying this all the time, but I couldn't say it less because it's such an important thing. And only when you stop being ashamed of parts of yourself would you make yourself capable enough to embrace the feminine and the masculine both. So you don't have to fit into any framework, any benchmark, and it's present in all. You just have to tap into it. And for tapping into it, you just have to be brave, accepting, open, and willing.
Wow. So such beautiful insights that we have come across in this entire conversation of and to sum it, be yourself, be in touch with who you are, and everything else is going to be by your side if you are true and authentic to who you are. And you can do that with different practices, but having that intention to be yourself is the most important thing. That is what we heard from Kanika over and over, about how to tap into your intuition, your courage, your strength by being yourself. So thank you so much, Kanika, for such wonderful insights. And I am sure when people hear these conversations, they will have ample takeaways, and somewhere you and with your wisdom have created this legacy already. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.